This is Steven Scarlatus of Pocketnow.com, and in this part of the video review of the MWg Zinc II, we're going to take a look at the preloaded software, accessing YouTube, and using the keyboard. First off, let's look at the pre-installed applications. Under the main Start menu, we have the basic calendar application, Pocket Internet Explorer, Pocket Outlook, Task Manager, and Windows Media. Task Manager is a new Windows Mobile 6.1 application which allows you to view what is running and also end tasks. This application provides you with many more viewing options than the original Windows Mobile Memory application which we found under the System setting. Next we'll go to Programs. First off we'll go to the Mobile Office programs, which include Word, Excel, OneNote, and PowerPoint, and they're all compatible with Office 2007. In the main program group, we've got the standard calculator, camera, standard contacts, file explorer, GPS viewer, which I used in part 2, internet sharing, the Java runtime is preloaded, Messenger IM, I installed Windows Live Search, the MWg Auto Config, which does not configure the device for North American cellular carriers, go figure. How they did that. I did install My Mobiler, which I used in part 2. The standard notes, remote desktop, which is new to Windows Mobile 6.1. The search application, Sim Manager, streaming player, tasks, Windows Live Search, and the Zinc II menu system, which is what I call a poor man's HTC TouchFlow. All kidding aside, the Zinc II menu allows you quick access to Windows Media, pictures and videos, camera, and games. It's easy to use with your fingers as well. There's no way to terminate the application on the screen, but you can use the button on the left-hand side. Let's take a look at settings. Under the personal settings, all the basic settings are there. In the system settings, all the Windows Mobile basic settings are there. And in the connection settings, you've got a couple additional programs. One is the band selection, which allows you to select 3G, 2G, or auto. The wireless manager at the bottom here, which allows you to control flight mode and turn on and turn off radios. And then you have the Wi-Fi utility, which allows you to see which Wi-Fi hotspot you're connected to. Let's bring up Word and test out the keyboard. First of all, we'll pull out the screen, and you can see that the screen rotation happens quite quickly, which is very good. So the keyboard has 3 rows of keys, a dedicated Start, OK, and soft menu keys. The keys are not raised. This is a flat membrane keyboard with ridges between the keys. At first I thought it might be difficult to type with, but you do get used to it because the keys themselves are large and the tactile response of the membrane is quite good. You do have to use the function key for numbers and symbols, and I wish they would have made the spacebar key larger. It's basically the standard key size. But overall, I have to say that I like this keyboard. Now for the final test in this review, we'll take a look at YouTube. I'll bring up Pocket Internet Explorer, which I've preloaded with mobile YouTube. And then we play the video, which initiates the streaming player that connects to YouTube and starts buffering. My signal strength here is pretty poor, so the buffering could experience some issues. But it's playing pretty smoothly right now. By pressing the screen, I can go into landscape mode and into full screen, and you can see it's doing pretty well. Although here it stopped buffering and went back to portrait mode. So my next test will be to see if I can get a better signal through Wi-Fi. So I'll jump over to the wireless manager and bring up the Wi-Fi, which will connect to my access point. Exit out of there and go back to Pocket Internet Explorer and try to reinitiate the streaming player. I've had a problem where when I go back into Pocket Internet Explorer sometimes, the link to the streaming player won't work. I have to close out Internet Explorer, go back in, and then click again, and the second time it seems to load the streaming player. I'm not quite sure what that's about. The streaming player here tries to connect, but with Wi-Fi turned on, I keep getting errors. So my deduction is that the streaming player only works with the cellular data network, and because I don't have a good enough signal in the house, it's not connecting well at all, which is, I think, a very poor design. It should use the fastest available network, whether it be Wi-Fi or cellular. That does it for this part of the review, and I'll be back with some final thoughts and a usability test.